the journey that we took to do Jah work, to do Jah work. Peter tell the world, all in all you do, you put Jah first. And we will continue to live that exemplifying life, that we put Jah first in everything we do. And I want to do something too. Peter is going off to whence he came, to sit with the ancestors, to sit with the greats. I just like everybody for putting their hands together. Peter Morgan. Long live Peter Morgan. And I just want to touch bases on some of the people that help us to start this journey. Our musical director, Clifford Branch. He called me and he reminded me of when our father sent Peter to his house to knock on his door and ask him to come and help us with our music arrangement. And Clifford Branch did a great work with us. But now he can see his student sitting up on high with the greats of his accomplishments and his work that he did. He studied hard. He studied humanity. He studied life. And he had a lot of love to share. And his work is finished. He has passed the baton. So we, the rest of us, his children, his wife, his children's mothers, we, his brothers and sisters, his mother. See her there? Mama, when I was with Peter in Jamaica, my son, Denry Morgan III, finally got a chance to do a song with him. And the song said, "Mama, don't cry, because this child is surely gonna make it." And he made it. He's made it. The world has seen our brother. So for this, I give God thanks for everything, because he's not in pain anymore. People don't know my brother struggled. He struggled. But all in his struggle, he kept going. So we must keep going. We must keep going. Peter Morgan. Thank you.
One of many children. Blessings to you, Mother Ina. You're so wonderful. Thank you, Mama, for being here. At this time, word of encouragement will be brought to us by Dr. Gershom Nelson.
As I looked around and saw this gathering, it occurred to me that, believe it or not, we're all related. And as such, we need to understand our purpose for being here. And if there's nothing that one gets from this gathering this evening, is that Peter Morgan lived an exemplary life and has left a legacy that we all can emulate and pass on to the next generation. It is bittersweet we meet here to grieve the loss of Peter with his mom, Hyacinth, his wife, Maria, children, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, other relatives, and a host of friends. While we grieve, which is a natural process and we shouldn't fight the grief, we have occasion to celebrate, because we can celebrate the life of someone who lived purposefully. I treasure the opportunity to share with you this afternoon a background to understanding Peter and the Morgan family. It's only a week ago that there was the first forum held by one of the largest organizations with roots in Jamaica. It is called the Union of Jamaican Alumni Associations. And if you went to school in Jamaica, chances are that your high school is represented in that group. For the first time, there was a conference on reggae. Everyone came to the conclusion that reggae is a gift to the world from Jamaica. That deserves an applause, don't you think? However, it is not only a gift, it is a message and a challenge. There are a number of ambassadors who embraced reggae and Rastafarianism and made it global. So wherever you go on this planet today, you will encounter reggae and you will encounter Rastafarians. Peter and the Morgan family have been authentic and systematic in their ambassadorship for reggae and Rastafarianism. So this memorial service is very, very, very special because we celebrate the life and works of a second generation ambassador for reggae. All the folks in the hearing of my voice are familiar with the pioneers in reggae, which actually include Denroy Morgan, Peter's father. And he passed on that legacy to the children. And I am pleased and delighted to be celebrating with you this evening the life of his son, who has become an icon for the reggae message and challenge. But to appreciate reggae and Rastafarianism, we need to know something. We need to know of the enslavement of Africans in the Americas. We need to also know that after emancipation, the descendants of slaves were oppressed continuously and for an extended period of time. And you ask me today, has that oppression ended? And if you were to ask Peter, and if you ask the Morgan family, through their songs, you will discover that there's work yet to be done. So it is not surprising, it's with that background that Marcus Garvey said, "Look to Africa for the crowning of a prince." And intriguingly enough, in 1930, a prince was indeed crowned. At the time Marcus Garvey made that declaration, there was only one country south of the Sahara that escaped the scramble for Africa that Europeans engaged in, separating and oppressing the African continent. That one country was Ethiopia. And in 1930, there was indeed a coronation. The coronation was of Ras Tafari. Ras is a title, by the way. But the revelation did not end there. 5 years later, Ethiopia, that had not previously been colonized, was invaded by fascism. After World War II, there emerged what was called the League of Nations. Ethiopia was a member of the League. The League had as its principal objective to prevent another world war, like World War I. And so the rule was any member state that was attacked would be supported by all members to repel that attack. So, Ras Tafari, who had been anointed Emperor of Ethiopia, assuming the name Haile Selassie I, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, made his appeal to the League of Nations. The League ignored his appeal. And in his Geneva address to the League and the world, Haile Selassie II declared, "There is a rule of the universe which says, what you do to others will be done to you. And to the extent that my colleagues refuse to assist in repelling fascism is the extent to which fascism will find its way to your doors sooner or later." 5 years. And fascism was overrunning Europe, plunged the world into World War II. The catastrophe is well known. The carnage is known. So then I need to give you one other connection. Leonard Howell, a follower of Marcus Garvey, knowing what Garvey said, observed all these developments and concluded that Garvey was indeed prophetic, and that indeed Ras Tafari represented not only persistence and deliverance from oppression, but indeed was a model for Africans in the diaspora to look to for strength, to look for redemption. At the same time as these oppressive elements enveloped the world, there began a musical transformation in Jamaica, so that by the 60s, there emerged what we now call reggae. And reggae epitomized so well the oppression and the hope for deliverance that it fit perfectly with Rastafarianism. So, Peter Morgan represents the unfolding of that history, the unfolding of that hope, that aspiration, that true one love, that equality, that pursuit of justice. He has represented his generation well, with excellence. He has, in fact, along with the Morgan heritage, elevated the genre to the point where the world looked around and said, "You folks deserve Grammys." I think we all should be proud of that. So as we mourn, we even celebrate more, because this messenger, this ambassador of reggae and Rastafarianism has charted a course which tells us clearly that he rolled up his sleeve, he embraced his mission, and having equipped himself by the tutelage of Mama Hyacinth and the tutelage of Father Denroy Morgan, brought to the world a level of consciousness, a level of awareness that calls all of us to go down to the riverside. Yes. And so this evening, Peter calls on all of us to go down to the riverside. We go down to the riverside to repent. We go down to the riverside to rejuvenate. We go down to the riverside to become refreshed. But having been refreshed, having been rejuvenated, we're called upon to rise up and proclaim the message of love, truth, justice, and grace, so ably represented by Peter Morgan. Representing truth, representing justice, representing love is not abstract. It means we must engage in activities that are reflective of our love, reflective of justice, and reflective of truth. I must underscore the fact that Peter heralded this incredible message to the world. And I must say, long live Peter Morgan and the Morgan heritage. Say that with me. Long live Peter Morgan and the Morgan heritage. We are here, and I hope we will appreciate the amazing accomplishment of our brother, whose life and works will live forever in our hearts and hopefully in our actions.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from Dr. Gershom Nelson. He's a retired dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences from the University of Central Missouri. Come on, another round of, come on now. Thank you, sir. Blessings to the Morgan family. At this time, we are very honored to have in our presence the consulate from New York, the Consular General Alcion Wilson. Please. Let's pronounce it properly. You are the consul?
The Consul General from Jamaica to New York.
And your name?
Alcion Wilson.
Wonderful, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Family members of my dear friend, the late Peter Morgan, my colleague, Consul General Oliver, he's the Consul General from Jamaica to Florida, musicians, other dignitaries, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I know we are mourning Peter, but ladies and gentlemen, good evening. We're here to celebrate him. Today, we gathered here to honor and remember the life of a remarkable individual who also happened to be a friend of mine, Peter Morgan. I would like to begin by expressing my dearest condolences to the family and friends of Peter. Losing a loved one is never, ever easy. And my heart goes out to all of you during this difficult, very difficult time. When I received the call from Mojo, letting me know that Peter had passed, it really broke my heart. As I have known this family for quite a very long time, Gramps and I have always shared a special bond. And I know how much Peter meant to Gramps and Mojo. Peter was not just a son. He was not just a brother. He was not just a husband. He was not just a father. Nor he was not just a friend. Peter Morgan was a talented reggae musician. Who made significant contributions to our culture. His music touched the hearts and souls of the people all over the world. Especially in Africa, spreading messages of love, unity, social consciousness, and peace. Through his artistry, Peter became a symbol of Jamaican pride and a voice to those who needed to be heard. I remember the countless times that Yvette, Peter's sister, and I would travel to Jamaica, all along the vibrant countryside, to hand out sneakers to the students in Jamaica who could not afford to purchase one. Yvette would talk to me about her brothers, about one of my favorite group, Morgan Heritage. And we would sing as we drove through Portland. And sometimes I would get out and dance when I hear the songs that is sung by Peter, Mojo, and Gramps. Today, as we bid farewell to Peter, let us remember that not only for his musical prowess, but also for the kindness, warmth, and sweet songs that he has brought into our lives. His legacy will continue to inspire generations to come, reminding us of reggae music. To Yuna, Gramps, Luke, Mojo, Yvette, his wife, his children, other relatives and friends of Peter, please know that you are not alone in your grief. The entire Jamaican community stands with you, offering you our sincere hope of love. We share in your loss, and we hope that the memories of Peter's extraordinary life will bring you comfort in the days ahead. Please remember that the Jamaican diaspora will always be here. Your musical brothers and sisters will always be here to support you and to lift you up. May his soul rest in eternal peace. And may his music continue to resonate in the hearts of people across the world forever. One love.
Recently, I heard that Jamaicans all believe that we're number one. You agree? All right. Everywhere we go, we take over, right? Definitely. And everywhere we go, we have to have a mayor, right? Come on now. Come on now. We rule things around here, right? So, right this moment, we're about to take over Orlando. And in order for us to take over Orlando, we need permission. And this person that is coming to the podium is the Commissioner Regina Hill, who is now the Mayor Pro Tem, and she is going to give us a declaration that we run things. How about that? Come on, put your hands together and welcome Regina Hill.
Greetings. Greetings. It's a celebration. You know, I'll take a point of privilege prior to presenting this resolution from my Mayor Buddy Dyer and myself, Commissioner Regina Hill. I had the honor and privilege to actually spend some time with Peter and Mojo. You know, community-minded folk, the Morgan family are. And it was a couple years ago, Mojo and Peter came right across the street to City Hall to talk about the work they were doing and wanted to do in the community, and also have this huge music festival over at Tinkerfield. So I'm honored, and I was quite taken back and heartbroken, as the councilor stated, when I got the call from Mrs. Fatima about the passing of Peter. But I celebrated because I knew he loved God. And as Brother Morgan that came before me stated the journey, I am not new to the Jamaican diaspora. I consider myself a ragamuffin long time. I truly believe the leadership that I bring, I would not have if it wasn't in the early 80s and the 90s, where I sat in ciphers with good Rasta brothers and sisters that started to groom me and mold me and taught me knowledge of self and understanding and wisdom and love and unity. At least 5 days a week, you'll find me in a Jamaican local restaurant where they know me by name. And I can put some pots together too. So much so to where I even raised 2 sons that are Jamaicans. So I am a true pod. Yeah, they poured him to me real good. So to say that I am very connected to the Jamaican Chamber here in this area, and the Jamaican diaspora, and the Caribbean diaspora as a whole. So I stand here not just as a city representative today. I like to say that I stand here as family. So with that being said, we thought it not robbery to honor a dignitary like Peter and the Morgan family for all that they have done. And when the mayor's office was called, he said, yes, go. And so today I like to present, and not everybody get this. I just want you to know this is not average. This is not normal. Mayor Buddy Dial just don't put his stamp on any and everybody. and everything. So this is truly an honor and a privilege that has been sealed by myself and the mayor. So whereas Mr. Peter Anthony Morgan was a cherished husband, father, grandfather, son, and brother. And whereas Peter was celebrated as a lead vocalist of Morgan Heritage, the Grammy Award-winning reggae group, his smooth vocals and unforgettable voice left an indelible mark on fans throughout the world. And whereas Peter created the band in 1994 with his siblings, Una, Roy, Gramps, and I don't want to mess it up, so I'm just going to say Luke's Morgan, and of course, my good friend, Mr. Mojo Morgan. And whereas he had a profound impact on the global music scene, and his contributions to reggae and Afro-Caribbean music and culture is undeniable. And whereas Peter was committed to using music as a tool for uplifting others, following in the footsteps of his beloved father, Ross Denroy Morgan Sr. And whereas, along with his brother Mojo, Peter was a proud resident, did I say proud resident, of the city of Orlando community, who was dedicated to nurturing his family here in Orlando, creating a loving and supportive environment while growing roots and creating memories. Whereas the city of Orlando recognizes Peter's incredible impact here, not just in this community, but around the world. And love the legacy that he has left behind his family, his children, his grandchildren. See, I would say love is until the grave. It never dies, because when it lives on to the next generation and the generation thereafter. So I celebrate the life, the legacy of this great man through what we're looking at throughout this place. Oh, there's no need to be sad. There's no need to cry, because he yet lived. He let live through all of us. Dry your tears. Stand up and applaud the life, the love, the life, Peter Morgan, a true champion of justice, of peace, of reggae, of unity. So now, therefore, we, Buddy Dare, Mayor of Orlando, I, Regina Hill, extend our life, our legacy, our love to the Morgan family, to Peter Anthony Morgan. So we declare Thursday, March 7th, 2024 as a citywide day of mourning, but no, not mourning, I say celebration. As we recognize the impact, the legacy of our dear friend, Peter Anthony Morgan, here in the city of Orlando. One love, Rasta Celestii.
All right, we rule things round here. Yes, long live Peter. Come on now, come on now, come on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Down south decide to take a trip up to Orlando, to Central Florida. Put your hands together and welcome the Consul General to the people. Council General Oliver Mayer, welcome to Orlando, sir. What good? Come on.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you are here and you have been touched by the life of Peter Morgan, would you just raise your hand at this time? Let's give him a big round of applause. As a Consul General of Jamaica, based in Miami with responsibility for the Southern United States, it's indeed an honor to be asked to say a few words. And I want to first of all just express my deepest condolences to the family. I must, if I may say, the royal family, the music. Do you agree? And on behalf of every citizen of Jamaica and the government of Jamaica, we say thank you to this gentleman who has made Jamaica proud and the world proud. You know, over the past 3 months, I've been now to 3 funerals to say goodbye to 3 legends. In January, we said goodbye to Pluto. Just last week, it was Aston, family man Barrett. And now we say goodbye to another legend. Peter has done a lot for the music. His energy, his love, his connectivity. He had a message for the world. And there's a certain message you feel when Morgan Heritage is on the stage. There's a vibe. And there is a feeling that we can do better as a people. We can come together as a people. We can make this world a better place. That's the energy and message from Morgan's Heritage. And certainly Peter, as lead singer, in my opinion, has been one of the greatest voices I've ever heard in the world. Me now go hide and talk. I want boss as an artist. And everywhere I go, I try a thing. I will get a little clap here and there. I'm going to continue to try. And recently, I got word that Morgan Heritage was going to close the festival, Jerk Festival, on November 13th. And so I make sure, put on my bashment clothes, go down early. I'm a big friend with Gramps, so I link up Gramps early. We're backstage. Them do a nice little video with me. But I was hoping they would have called me on stage. So I go around the front, and I say, Peter. But listen, they mash up the place and did an excellent job. And even though they never called me up, I will make sure I continue to sing the music of Morgan Heritage wherever I go. But I want to remind us here today, We don't know the time of day when the Almighty will call us home. I want us to love upon each other. Treat each other with respect. If you have a problem with your brother or your sister, forgive them. Hug them up. Life is short. And it seems that, boy, the good ones are being taken home early. I was with Peter around the back, and I'm happy we spoke. We spoke for about 10 minutes along with Gramps. And Peter shared some stuff with me, and I could feel his energy of a great man who had contributed so much to the world. And like all great men, his music will continue to liberate and hearts of people, not just in Jamaica, but around the world. And that's the power. And I want to salute parents who gave birth to this lovely family, the Morgan family. I want to pay tribute to them because they have given us a great legacy. And Peter, you have blessed us with so many big hits. I'll tell you some of mine quickly. Tell me how come. You love that one? I'm going to tell you one of my favorite now. You don't have to dread to be. All right. Reggae, bring back the. What we need is. And Down by the River. Those are 5 of my favorites. And I'm sure you guys have more. But I want to say, boy, tell me how come we had to lose such a great man like Peter so soon. But certainly one day we will see him again down by the river. John knows best. And so in closing, I say, Peter, can't believe you're gone higher. Your legendary impact will live on forever. For your music and message is like a burning fire that will continue to take and lift us higher. We will see you again by the river. One love, Peter. One love, my brother.
Recently, my grandmother passed away, and when she was in and out of consciousness, I said, Mama, can you hear Gabriel's trumpet sounding? And she looked at me and said, if you can hear it, then it's for you. Come in. Right now, Mr. Sheldon Palmer will be giving us a tribute, a saxophonist tribute. And in Jamaica, they say, he who dies first, sleep longest. My brother, you beat me to it. So ladies and gentlemen, with great honor, Mr. Sheldon Palmer. That's what I'm talking about. It is well with my soul. That's a testimony that we should all be able to say and sing. It is well. It is well. And we know it's well with Peter's soul. He taught us how to love, didn't he? He taught us about unity. He taught us about connecting to the source which was Jehovah Jah. We're honored to have Catherine Goodall here. And come up and pay tribute to Peter.
Forgive me if some of this sounds like gibberish. They say that death leaves a heartache that no one can heal, but love leaves a memory that no one can steal. There's so many sides to Peter. First one I met was Peter, the gentleman. Then I encountered the Brooklyn gangster, only by mouth though. And then Peter the Yardie and Japit, the messenger. God, message, and that's who he was. My brother, my friend. I didn't even know where to begin. Funny thing is, when Tommy asked me, she said, "You're one of the few people that knows all the different sides of Peter." And I started by thinking of Peter in a professional setting, and it was actually hard, which is how I met him first, because it never ever felt like work. I will never forget the night that I met Peter. We were in the Bahamas, and for some reason, the Bahamas clearly is a very special place to us. We were in the Bahamas because Ali Cole was having his reggae festival, and there was a party on a private island, and there was this man sitting down by himself away from everybody else. And something, and I guess today I can acknowledge it was God that brought us together, made me walk over to him and ask him, "Are you okay?" And in true Peter fashion, bright smile, right? And he said, yes, he's good, but he never wanted to go to the crowd. It wasn't his thing. Likewise, same. And so we're talking, and he was telling me that he was there for the show, and I was like, oh, me too. And he told me he was a part of Morgan Heritage. Now, please bear with me. I was maybe 19 years old at the time. And I said, oh, is you them called Grumps? I mean, seriously, he has a great patch. Wouldn't he be natural that that's who we call Grandpa, right? And he laughed and he said, no, I'm a brother that. And I cannot remember what happened after that. After that, I became a fully adopted member of the family. I don't even know when there was a transition to not being a part of the family. Peter the Rock, a very fitting name, because he was the glue that kept it all together, right? So there's a lot of words I couldn't find, and so I chose to use his. He said, what we need is love to help us grow today. He reminds us to let us all be aware of how we entertain angels unaware. Peter treated everybody the same way. Like he said, no matter if you wear a jacket or a tie or you walk barefoot, which by the way, he used to do a lot. Just love is what he exuded. Even though he was an introvert, when he opened up, all he felt was love. I don't think there's anybody in this room that can say that they encountered anything other than love from Peter. It was only love that exuded from him, or strength from a place of love. He somehow managed to see the good in everyone, and most situations, forgiving. But he was no fool. He avoided drama at all costs. He was the definition to me of 70 times 7. He never missed an opportunity to honor his parents. To me, he was a perfect mix of his father's jovial personality and Emo's firm but even-tempered spirit. The militant side of Peter came out in his music, in my opinion, because he didn't play when he was sharing his message. He was a professional, on time for his show, never compromising his sound, focused. It's funny because most of my favorite songs are not even the Morgan Heritage songs that everybody knows. I think that when Oliver talked about Peter being one of the greatest vocalists, I don't think that so many of us have even heard his range. Peter used to say that he was very mindful of the songs that he released because he didn't want to confuse people because he was a singer of Morgan Heritage, right? But he was a professional. He was where he needed to be, and he fulfilled anything that he committed to. Quiet, but when he went on stage, he came alive. As a lyricist, I think there's so many people that have benefited from the lyrical genius of Peter Morgan. Again, his range. And when we talk about militants, when it came to his family, another side came out of Peter. He was extremely protective and private. Grandpa, Mommy, Loogie, Mojo. As much as he used to fuss and cuss. That's how you know Peter love me and I'm cuss you. Who running late? Who's supposed to do this? Who have the itinerary? He was a glue. I promise. Mojo, where are you? I promise that I'm going to help Mojo with the farm because I don't want Peter to come for me. And I'm going to continue to love your family as my own. Getting used to seeing Peter with his other siblings outside of Morgan Heritage, outside of LMS. For me, the only word I could find was free. Seeing him with Yvette, even Miriam, it was like he came alive. His ability to just celebrate life. I had the privilege of being accepted into his family and was also the beneficiary of his fussing and cussing, second only to Jenny. He was a very demanding individual. Peter never asked questions. He just told you what he needed to get done. Since COVID, and especially in the past 2 years, I've had the privilege of seeing you be intentional about spending more time with your family, your children, so many more of your siblings. And I can say that in the last 2 years, I probably even got to see Peter more in family time than I have in the last 20-something years outside of work. I'm happy that he got to meet Lenny, and he embraced him and showed him so much love. As a father, when I met Peter, at that time it was 5, and all he could talk about was all of you. I have seen so many videos. He has shared so many updates. The level of pride that your father has had for all of you is inexplicable. He loved you so much more than he could express. I've been blessed to be the godmother for our baby princess, Gigi. And being able to see Peter evolve as a parent, being able to see him spend time communicating his evolved love is what I call it, with all of you, freely, has made my heart overflow. It's fascinating to see so much of him in all of you. Our sunshine girl. I remember when he called me again, we were going to the Bahamas, and he said, I'm bringing somebody to meet you. The moment I met you, I knew you were going to be our wife and my sister. The only words I could find to say to you are his words. Make me want to give you the world. I've done wrongs before, but I do those things no more. Loving you has made me a better man for sure. You make me complete. You're my better half. You brought out a side of me I never knew I had. I'm giving you the best of my love. I can see it in you that you're hurting deep inside. You have a little faith that everything's gonna be all right. And that's what love does to you. When it's really true, just break that frown and let your beauty shine through. Japit, you are my forever. You are forever my friend. Though in this life I'll never see you again, you now have your wings, and I feel you in my heart straight through. Because your life never ends. You now fly with angels in the wind.
There is love when there is love. And there are memories that we hold real deep in our hearts. Thank you, my sister. Christy Barber, could you please come and pay tribute to Mr. Peter Morgan?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Christy Barber, and I'm the 6th member of Morgan Heritage. Thought you knew, right? I have been a part of my beautiful music family of Morgan Heritage for over a quarter of a century. We've worked together on so many different things, and I'll never forget the day when I was exposed to their music. In the 90s, the record label that I worked at, there was an A&R there that's a dear friend of ours, Joel Chin, who I shared an office with, and he was working on some records from them, and I was like, whoa, who is this singer? Like, he's amazing. It blew me away. And I was like, I told Joel, I want to be a part of this project. And what was great about working with him is whenever there was something going on that I was super passionate about, he let me hit the ground running, and that's exactly what we did. And it's 28 years later, I've worked with Una, Luke's, Mojo, Gramps, and Peter, who anybody knows me knows is one of my favorite singers of all time. And amazing things, and we've traveled all over the world together. I mean, in the 90s, when it was so hard to promote a lot of the music, the opportunities that we had working the Don't F a Dread record, we went from Springfield, Massachusetts to St. Thomas, Jamaica with CBS Sunday Morning because the producers couldn't believe how many kids Pops had. And they just wanted to make sure that they had it on CBS to let the world know. On a Father's Day special, it was amazing. And we played parties for Johnny Cash, TBS, the Special Olympics with Bon Jovi and Stevie Wonder, you name it, the royal family of reggae has done it. And it was always a goal of mine and a big goal of theirs. And it makes me so proud to be able to say Grammy-winning Morgan Heritage, because it took a long time to get there. I remember the night it happened, I was in London and I stayed up all night and I was in the hotel room, and I'm pretty sure the people next door thought I was getting murdered because I screamed so loud. They called me the minute they won backstage in the media room crying and screaming on the phone. I was like, we did it, girl. We did it. It was so exciting. One of the best moments ever. And then they came to Nashville. We got to celebrate in Nashville. And that was so amazing that I got to see them right off of that win. And then the next nomination, we all went to the Grammys together in New York. So it's just been amazing things. I've been so proud to be a part of this family. Each one of them, they were like my first brothers and sisters in this music industry, and each one of them has their own personality. But the great thing about Peter was Peter's one of those artists that no matter what I asked him to do, no matter where I told him to go, Peter never, ever, ever he put 100% of himself into everything. He never said no. He always did it with a smile. He always did it with dignity. He was professional. He was amazing in that magnetic smile, and his laughter only miss. And I remember when we would just, the family members would get together and they make Peter call me, because everybody, I was like, oh, look at them. They're going to stick the big dog on me, because nobody says no to Peter. It's like every time he calls on the phone, I just know I have to be like, I'll do anything for you, you know? So, and they knew it. That's why they'd make Peter call. I feel lost. I can't believe that I'm standing here talking about this right now, because there was no lovelier friend than Peter Morgan. And I could just tell stories and stories for days. I'll leave you with one last one. I remember, I think we were in St. Kitts, and Peter said he was going to go buy pita. And I was like, pita? Like a pita chip? He's like, no, not a pita chip. And I'm like, well, how do you spell? And he's like, Peetah. I'm like, oh, like a cheetah. And he was like, no, not like a cheetah. I said, no, like a cheetah. He's like, no, not like a cheetah. Because he knew where my head was going. And from that day forth, his nickname was Peetah Cheetah. So every time I see him, it's like, hey, Peetah Cheetah, I miss you. I loved both of you. You're beautiful. Your family's beautiful. Luke's, Gramps, Mojo. Wherever, whenever, however, I will always be there for my Morgan family. So, Peter, keep the block warm for me up there. I know you're going to continue to make music. I know Pops is ready. I know Bobby Digital's up there. He's ready to produce it. Joel will be right by your side. And I know Joe Mercer would love to have a feature. Good evening, guys.
All right. I remember when I was coming to the United States in the 70s and we had Air Jamaica, they would leave the gate late. And just about when they're going over Cuba, the pilot changed gear and put in turbo and make it to New York on time. So ladies and gentlemen, we're putting in turbo right about now. Okay? So bear with us here. So I'm asking the speakers who are coming up now to put on turbo, okay? Meaning we have to get out of here at a certain time. Mr. Shane Brown, where are you, Shane? Come on, baby boy. Oh, hello, man. Respect to you, sir. Come on now. Turbo.
Good evening, everybody. Family, friends, and loved one. It's an honor and a privilege for me to stand before you today and pay tribute to Peter Anthony Morgan. He's a very special person to me and a lot of people here today, and a very irreplaceable person. I met Peter and Morgan's family some 20 odd years ago in Canada at a concert. The concert featured a number of acts, and Gramps, Luke's, Mojo, and Yuna called me in the dressing room and said, yo, when you gonna mix a show for me? You remember Gramps? I'm gonna say, tonight, you know. So tell the engineer that he have the night off. That night, it was like the first time I really heard Peter sing. his voice, his presence on the stage moved and lifted my spirit so much that after the show, I said to the Morgans, from this day on, I want to be an engineer, no matter who else I was working for. Gramps? Yeah, man. From there, Peter and I developed this friendship that quickly evolved to family. And Peter and I would always have conversations after each show because we have a game during the show where Peter would be singing because I know what I do to his voice. And I would do the same thing to his voice, even though every night Peter changed up something for me, but I was always aware of what Peter was going to do. So much so that other members of the group would say to me, yo, I want to know each other, so. You know? Now, Peter for me, wow. I would never mix a song, no matter if it's Morgan Heritage's song or whoever, without sharing it with Peter. Because Peter was one of my biggest fans, you know. But yet still, he was my biggest critic. So I always have to mix a song and say, Peter, listen this. I must say, yo, well, I don't know, man. I think you can do a little better, you know? I mean, I said, but wicked. Peter said, nah, man, go again. So Peter is responsible for the engineer that I am today. Believe me. Peter had a pair of the best ears that I know. What a man. Yeah. Today is our chance to say thank you, Peter. Thank you for the way you brightened our lives. We will all feel cheated, you know, that you're taken away from us so young and so quickly. But yet, we must learn to be grateful that you came into our lives, and that was such a blessing. Peter, as a producer now, Peter and I would always share ideas. We'd always be writing songs. And any project I'm involved in, Peter was like my ghostwriter. I remember 3 weeks ago, while working on an album for Master Griffiths, we said, Peter, Master next thing. And Peter said, what? Ready. And to show you the man Peter was and how he was for the producer I was.
Concept is inspiring people not to give up because they have a bad day. You know, making people know that there's a lot of love in the world to go around. So there's so much love in the world to go round. So don't give up just because today you feel down. There's so much in the world to go round. So don't give up just because today you feel down.
And we must be reminded that, yes, we have lost Peter. Presence as a human being, but his spirit lives on forever. So this room may be filled with tears, but let us not forget the smiles, the laughter, and the precious memories that Peter has brought into our lives. Today, I remember Peter and I honor his spirit by saying, Almighty God, thank you. Thank you for blessing us and the world at large, for experiencing Peter's unwavering love, his musical gifts you empowered him with, and his invaluable lessons. My family, friends, and co-workers, I beg of you, let us honor this great man by moving forward, being kinder to each other, dreaming a bit bigger, and celebrating life a bit more. Peter's wisdom and his kindness will continue to echo through our hearts, and be a guide on this journey of life. As we gather here today, we find our ocean of emotions. It's not easy to say goodbye, especially to a man like Peter. But today I'm not saying goodbye. Instead, I'm saying thank you. Thank you, Peter Anthony Morgan. Your physical presence may be absent, but your spirit lives on. Your love continues to surround us. Your teachings will continue to guide us. Your memories continue to inspire and comfort us. And your legacy continues to shine always. Peter Anthony Morgan, I love and salute you. Good evening.
All right, that's what I'm talking about, that love. At this time, 2 for 1 is going on. Sharon Burke and Judith Budley, 2 for 1 today. It's awesome. Come on up and pay tribute to Mr. Peter Morgan.
Good evening, everyone, family and friends. In 1994, I was introduced to Morgan heritage by the renowned patriarch of the family, Denver Morgan. He made me know His Majesty Almighty had chosen me to have Morgan heritage as my new family, and I was to guide them and protect them and also expose them to Jamaica. Well, that is how my journey started with Morgan heritage, and I fell instantly in love with Gramps, Peter. I've always remembered Peter staring at me with those big eyes when we met. I went home that evening, I put on my red, green, and gold tam and said, I'm now a Rasta. I would always remember when I would have a party, I just needed to invite Morgan Heritage alone because the room would be filled. I didn't need to.
I'd instantly gained a sister and many brothers that would last for a lifetime. My task was to make them known all over Jamaica, and I was happy this was my group. At that time, I was working on Reggae Sunsplash, and I told them Morgan Heritage had to be on the show. They played the Sunsplash Beach Party that year. I had heard that the MCA label was signing some acts that had worked on Sunsplash after having flown in to see the performances. Only the best of the best worked on Sunsplash. I quickly worked them on the Sunsplash big stage, and the next big thing was that they were signed to MCA Records, and then the rest was history. What always struck me about Peter is his calmness and his coolness. Peter always had those beautiful eyes that would captivate anyone. I am sure I am saying what everybody else, we have lost a gem. His voice was world class, and as a lead singer, he is comparable with the best in not only reggae, but in any genre.
Peter has left a big void in our industry, which will be hard to fill. Peter, you are gone, but never will be forgotten, and I miss you.
Thank you, everybody.
Blessings, bless up, big up. Right at this time, thank you so much. We thank you so much. Mr. Garfield Chin, born, come on up, my brother. Blessings.
So I kind of spent the last half an hour talking to myself as I was listening to everybody else speak. And I was saying to myself, don't go up there, go Bob. When you speak about Morgan heritage and you speak about Peter Morgan, we forget about that great place called Brooklyn. And before I say what I want to say, I want to speak in the language that someone would be speaking in Brooklyn. What do you mean Peter Morgan is gone? What do you mean we're not going to see him again? If I turn on my radio, I'ma hear Peter. If I go on social media, I'ma see Peter. Peter is not gone. Greatness is something that it's not forgotten. Greatness is something that has to be celebrated. And because I know this, in talking to you today, I don't want to use past tense. So I'm not going to use was. I want to use the word is. Peter Morgan is great. Peter Morgan is a great person. Peter Morgan is greatness. Peter Morgan is a great artist and also a great friend. I know this because I grew up with most of the Morgan heritage family. We grew up as youth, Rasta youth. Thus I try to find where we're. Lucky for us, we had guidance from some elders that helped us along the way. But along the way was also that mission and that mission of music. And all of us wanting to be a place in music that we can be celebrated. Years later, we all did it. I celebrate Morgans every chance that I get because I know the journey. I know the sacrifice. I know the hours we spent just sitting there dreaming about people knowing who we were in the space of music. I celebrate them because we're friends. The only word that comes to my mind when I talk about Morgan heritage and Peter Morgan is proud. I'm proud of what they've accomplished, and I'm also proud of the fact that you guys got to understand the magnitude that not only Peter, but his brothers and sisters means to the music, their art form, their love, not only for the music, but for humanity. Peter was a good dude. And when I say good dude, I mean, I don't think there's anybody in our musical fraternity that can say something bad about Peter. He was just that dude. Professionally, people who know Peter would probably call him a humble lion. Humble in his being. He spoke soft, very calm and very caring. But he was also a lion that roared. And he roared his message, a message that was clear: righteousness, black power, black upliftment, mental upliftment, equality, Marcus Garvey, Selassie, Rasta. Our teachings of Rastafari prepared us for this moment. we know about the shedding of flesh. We understand it. And we also understand that the most important part of life is your works, your deeds, the positive impact that you make on humanity. Rastas know life without works is meaningless. So before I go, ask yourself this: who have you helped? Who are you inspiring on your journey in life? And if the answer to yourself is no one, then please follow the examples of Peter Morgan. He did his work was well done, and therefore his life is meaningful. We know for us all, one bright morning, when our work is over, we shall fly away home. For these few words, I give thanks.
Thank you, my brother. Powerful words. If I could sing, I would sing that song, I'll Fly Away, and Peter would say, please be quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamaica has extended all the way to the islands of the South Pacific, to an island called Tonga. At this time, I'm very honored to call Miss Analia Brown. Come on up, my friend. All right.
To Morgan Heritage, your legacy has reached every corner of this earth. We bring with us the love of the South Pacific Polynesian Islands to honor today, Peter Morgan.
Don't be afraid of your ever-burning fire. Trust in your fire and you'll never get burned. Ooh. The fire that rains over heat, air, and water. No water can put out your fire. Your fire gonna live Rasta. You don't have to dread to be Rasta. Don't have to dread. This is not a dreadlock thing. Divine conception of the heart. Oh, you don't have to dread to be Rasta. Don't have to dread. This is not a dreadlocks thing. Divine conception of the heart. This is not a dreadlocks thing. Divine conception of the heart. You don't have to dread to be Rasta.
Analea Brown from Tonga, from the island in the South Pacific. Blessings, big up, come on now. We are all aware of the date we were born and the date that has been appointed for us to die. And in between those two dates, there's a dash. And it's up to us to accomplish many things. At this time, we're honored to have Dr. Yvette Morgan to come and pay tribute by the reading of the eulogy to represent that dash. Dr. Yvette Morgan.
He's still testing me. That's my big bro. 1 year separates us. That's it, just a year. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects. It always trusts. It always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. There's been a permeating message today about who Peter was. And love seemed to ring out throughout everyone's who he was. But like it was mentioned by my sister Kathy, Peter had multiple personalities. There was Peter, there was Peter, there was Japeets, there was the Black Viking, and for me, there was Pets. And I was his Vete. Those were the names we gave each other. Where I come from far. I remember that one vivid experience that I had when we all graduated, Grumps, Sandra, Japeets, when we graduated from Springfield Central High School and came to New York. And I used to sit and braid that thick hair. Before him to draw the locks, he had his natural hair. And I took such honor in being the sister who would sit and part and braid. And with every braid, I touched that stage back in Sunsplash as a backup dancer, as a chipette, Mary, Taliba. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I came to a fork or whether I was going to pursue my education. And one of the things he always told me was, sis, if me never tell you before, no fly can't pitch pan you and me no kill it. And so much him did love me. And always reminded me to live the life I love and love the life I live. And don't ever forget to be that beacon of light. Never waver. And stop worrying what people are saying about you. No worry about that, because people are going to always talk. Because enough BMW out there. But you know what BMW was with Japeets? Bad mind and wicked. That's what I'm saying. And me no want Sandman come pull me off of the stage. So me have to share this experience. When our father was ready to go through his transition, it was me and Japeets in a Lazarus room. Me Whether him sit on him or lounge chair or him like the floor. Him would lay down on the floor and cock up him foot and have him pillow and have him little screen and watch him historical videos. And that's when me and Ja Pete say, yo, what man? What's your problem with me? Why we not vibe the way we used to vibe? And we aired it out. And from that moment, we made the commitment to each other to never let go. And over the last 2 years, may I go be the first to say, I became the biggest groupie. Right? Period, as the children would say. And wherever that Peter say, yo, Salah, y'all come. Yes, Ja Pete, may I come? Me dede. Your flight, yes, Ja Pete. And it was at Sunsplash this year when Peter was performing and he came to the side of the stage and he just started doing the two-step and we was just rocking together. It's like, yeah, that's my guy. And he said, that's my girl. We had a brother-sister love that was unbreakable despite the many years of separation. So I say that to us as a family, every single one of us here. Find back that childhood love. Find back that. Because you know what? That's where the innocence, what Daddy always used to talk about. That's where the innocence was. And we can achieve that as adults. If we want it bad enough. It has to be a two-way street. Like Peter, the lyrics. When me did start really love my brother when him sing Bust Up Barriers. When Peter did never afraid to talk true through the music. He used his platform like he was the Fred Hampton of reggae music. He wasn't afraid. And sometimes he said, yo, Ja Pete, be careful, you know. Man, no one hear them lyrics there. Salah, man, if you talk truth. And he never, ever wavered from send us your love, oh Jah, your mercy and your grace. What we need is love to help us grow. Love is the only solution that can stop our resolution. He was never afraid to even show that vulnerable side, like she's still loving me. And it's love. And I always say, a one love I deal with. I have faith in you. You have faith in me. Our love and care, our unity makes us all one family. Let's not mourn, but celebrate the great Peter. And for all these years, me realize, say, yo, me I call the man God Peter. When me say Ja Pete. So when I say, long live, you say Ja Pete. Are you with me? Long live. Long live. Long live. I and I. Rastafari.
Oh, wow. There's only one question I'd like to ask the mom. Do you ever count the dumplings when you're frying them? A lot of picnics you have, you know, ma. Man, I tell you. Thank you so much, my dear sister, for that awesome tribute to your brother. And at this time, we're going to be graced with the children. Peter Morgan's children is going to grace us now with a poem. Come on, children.
Thank you all for being here today. Heaven is a state of mind, a state of spirit. And once we are connected to the spirit, whom or what shall we fear? There is no such thing as the end of a life, only more life to be lived. These are the teachings our Father instilled in us. As children, it was too heavy of a proverb for us to hold near. But come to find out, that same proverb was later a seed to be watered by our tears, weeding out our fears, and sprouting from the dirt our own tree of life, a new meaning of life.
Yo. Before my father ascended, all he asked for was to see us all of his children. And I saw the joy in his eyes as we all told him we love him. I saw the pure joy in his eyes. All them times we got to sing and dance. It's true to your soul. All the flash and the cans, all the jewels and name brands, my father didn't care for none of that. That's a spiritual man. What mattered to him was a connection, a spiritual connection. Enjoying the moment, enjoying the life created by the Most High Jah.
Rastafari.
A lot of great people that came up here and talked about the man that they knew as our father. And they were right. He did have a lot of different personalities. I remember always looking forward to the weekends. Dad would be making corn milk porridge for us and sending us to Publix so we could go get the French bread. Can't forget that French bread. He'd be smiling ear to ear as we all just sat together and enjoyed, because that's all he wanted. He taught us to appreciate the little things, appreciate family. It's crazy to me how someone who solidified himself as a worldwide rocker could be the same person who would just love to sit on the couch watching superhero movies and stuff. Even in his softest moments, we could all see the lion within him. He showed us how to live. It's beautiful how we all learn to love from a distance, with him traveling the road, speaking his beautiful message to the world, and us as his children going out into the world to forge our own paths. We would always find ourselves together again. It was tough at times, but love transcends all things. We cannot forget that. His love, Dad, your love, is and always will be unconditional.
Being around my dad and having the chance to learn him beyond his artistry gave me the chance to truly understand and appreciate him more. I came to realize that my dad was not only an incredibly talented human, but he was charming, humble, full of life and so much love. He had a hilarious sense of humor, and I see now where my siblings and I get that from. He was supportive and very proud of me, and he made sure that I knew that. I'll miss you, Dad. Your jokes, your infectious laugh and bright smile, your velvet voice and super dramatic personality. I'm so honored to be your daughter. I will continue making you proud. I will keep my siblings close, and I will be okay. You did good, and your spirit will live on forever.
Her father was a beautiful man, inside and out. He was a family man and a loving dad with a big heart. Daddy, I want to thank you for always being supportive of each of us and all our goals, with no question. You encouraged us to do what we love, no matter how risky our choices seemed. And I will forever cherish the bond we shared. I'll forever be grateful for the years we spent together. And I'll always remember the memories you've made with all of us.
We'd like to take this time to invite our cousin, Anaya, and our bonus brother and sister, Talia and Jalen, to join us.
Uncle Peter, being raised by you was a privilege. You were the best father figure to Anaya, Janaya, Jalen, and I. I'm reminded of how lucky I am to have been raised by such an incredible man. From FaceTiming every single day, grabbing dinner, having conversations from politics to pop culture. Dad wasn't always in town, but he always made sure to be present in our lives. I'm eternally grateful for the time I spent with him. As many of you know, Uncle Peter has raised me since I was 6 years old. I would come to him for any and everything, keeping him on the phone for hours, talking his ear off. That's how I got my nickname, Abla. That is one of the many things we have in common. We both love to talk. So I will carry on your legacy and talk everyone's ears off, keeping them smiling and laughing just as you did me. I'm grateful for all of the music and beautiful memories I get to share with your grandsons, Elijah and Zaire. They will not only know your music, but the incredible father and man you were. Your legacy shall live on. Jabi praise.
Janaya, Anaya's twin sister, could not be with us today because she is proudly serving this country. But in true Janaya fashion, she left us a few words to share about her Uncle Peter.
Hi everybody, I'm making this video because I wasn't able to be there today, but I wanted to say a few things, so just pretend if I was. I love Uncle Peter. He was the greatest uncle I could ever ask for. He made me smile. He made the best food, hands down, in the house. I always had a father figure in my life, and Uncle Peter was one of those father figures in my life. I had someone that I could talk to and that treated me like one of his own. I love and I care for every one of you, so I hope this service brings warmth and happiness into your hearts. I love you guys and thank you for hearing me.
In closing, Peter Morgan was not just the velvet voice. He was a devout husband. He was an amazing brother. And he was a father to every single one of us. Wherever our roads may lead, wherever we go, from this point forward, we will always be connected and share some of the best childhood memories with our dad, Peter Anthony Morgan, being the head of this beautifully blended family we are. We love you, Dad.
Denroy Morgan Sr. said in an interview that each time his children became pregnant, he would say, "Congratulations." And each time somebody sneezed, he said, "Bless you." And I could just hear him saying, "Mathotaf," right about time. With great honor, where is Miss Yuna? Where is Yuna? Sister Yuna Morgan. Come on here, my friend. Come here, my darling. What a legacy. It's really a legacy from Morgan heritage. Rich legacy. Oh, she's here. Come on, sweetheart.
All right. Good evening. Tommy, I'm gonna be strong. Salaji, I'm gonna be strong. I just want to say thank all of you. Thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. The journey for Morgan Heritage has been one that has been long, has it had its ups and downs, went through transformation, went through questions from the public, Wagwan. My brother Junior, the first drummer for Morgan Heritage, gave a bit of the beginning of the group. There was 8 of us. And actually, I wasn't the only girl. There was 3 girls in our Morgan Heritage. My sister Janet was sitting right there, so I'm my sister Takilat that is here. My sister Janet had other dreams, her destiny was set in a different way. I give God thanks. And now she's one of the executives at Emory Hospital in Atlanta. Give a big hand for my sister. My sister Takilat is also now a bigwig, working in the work of social work. She's in the social work industries, excuse me, for lack of a better term. But I thank them because starting out with Morgan Heritage was tumultuous, but Daddy, our father, the Honorable Ross Bishop Denroy Morgan, believed. And as the group transformed and we went through, JP, which is my name for him, because back in the day, like my brother them know, he was a dancer. He would give Chris Brown. But JP, as the lead and as the head of the arrow that the Lord anointed, will be missed. He gave each one of us laughter. He gave each one of us strength to believe in ourselves. He believed in love. I listened to all the friends that were touched by his presence, by his leadership, by his guidance, by his beautiful eyes. Thank you all. Sharon Burke, Kathy Goodall, Shane Brown, Taurus Riley, who is in the house with us. Thank you so much. Judith Bodley, to my mother, who has stood by us from day one. It wasn't easy. Awesome tour she come and we have cook. She and my brother Lazar from LMS set up a cook rice and peas and thing in the dressing room for it. So the journey, Buju Banton say, is not an easy road. Them see the glamour and the glitter and think it's a bed of roses. And it has not been. My journey as they sistered during this time of Morgan Heritage has been one that I would take with me forever. My brother JP always said to me, "Mommy, firm up yourself, man." So, may I firm up myself, and I'm gonna be strong. Because Peter always tell me to be strong. And don't worry. But wait. Jaja! Him saying, "Mommy, Grandpa, Mojo, Luke's no worry, because God did with we." Write a song when name Just Seed is planted in I and I. He's the root and the source of our lives. We are the branches, the trees that have life. We are the apple of his eyes, forever, for life. Thank you all again from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for my brother Peter.
Love, enough, and respect going out to this family for perseverance and resilience to create a dynasty that we can all share in it. At this time, Luke's, Morgan, come forth, my brother.
Hardest day in my life. Chappy. Everything. Chappy is a perfectionist. When we're born, it's a gift. And how we live life is our gift back to God. And I can tell you that my brother lived 1,000%. Doing what he wants, with him love and want. And I'm very proud of him. Him never itch when him get him calling. We grew up as a family. And my father put enough pressure upon him. You are the leader. You are the vice. And it's a lot of pressure to be able to write the songs he write, sing the way he sing. And I'm just thankful that I was able to share it with the rest of our siblings, where everybody become to know Morgan Heritage. Started off with my oldest brother on us here, Junior, 8 away. And then it come down to 5 away. And, Peter, grandson, Mojo, still carrying on, even though you and I are still there. But this is the hardest thing to do. Daddy would always say to him, it's a spear, and Peter is the point of the spear. What we are going to do now? But Jappy, you done great, my brother. Your work will live on. like a part of it gone. And we had a dinosaur, it now come back. Now come back. Time. Yeah, my nieces and nephew. I vow for my brother to be the best uncle I ever have here. I am just a phone call away. And everybody here, this a perfectionist when we were at school. Daddy and Nima used to give away lunch money. Everybody make sure they get feed and lunch. Peter save him for buy CD at the end of the week. Every week, Peter would buy a new CD. That's all serious in taking craft. We would be on stage performing and Mojo and Gramps would always tell him, brother, you can't make up your face up on stage. He might go turn on and cuss and we say, yo, Pete, you can't do that. And he must say, eat my right. And be your best be, if one of them night, they will call you out in front of thousands, say, yo, fix up. You know, but that's Jappy. You know, him take it, he's a perfectionist. And he's done great. You know what I mean? Him take the calling serious. Be the voice of the voices crying out. Be the voice for the voiceless. And him never, as Salah say, him never afraid to talk the truth. Enough dreadlocks that now live Rasta life. And him take it serious. When His Majesty, top soldier, me can say that. Carry His Majesty teaching around the world. But I treating them say sure in a life. You go born, you have to pay a tax. And your time I go come. We just don't know the day and the time. But we give thanks to everybody. Share the love with our brother, our leader. And we have to carry on. Yeah? We have to carry on. And that's what he wants. And again, I'm just thankful to share his life with him. A special human being. Special. And it's hard. It's hard. This one, yeah. It's like nothing we've ever felt before. Nothing we've ever dealt with before. You know? But we can't fly up in our God face. Because me angry. Why Peter? Why? But me can't question it. Him do him work. I mean, I go be angry with God. Because him answer him calling. And who is me if he says? It is just the love we have for him. We have to shed that emotion because we love Peter. We love Peter. But we're not going to question it. You just question, say, why? Why? But we give thanks. We give thanks for the life that Jappy has lived. And he shared his life, and he wasn't selfish, a very selfless man. to share him life with so much of us, because him never have to. He could have said, boy, Jah, that one day too rocky for me, you know. You know, I touched that one day. But him said, no, Jah, you call me, I gotta do your work. And him do it. I'm proud with my partners, Mojo, Gramps, Luna. We did great. We win many awards. We win, you know. But one thing we're sure, Jappy proud of, say him answer him calling of His Majesty and him do your work. And you can't ask him no.
Thank you, Lux Morgan. We have a saying in Jamaica that says that them say donkey said the ground no level. Things are never straight. We don't get good things all the time. But there's a person who sees the good in all of us. And he says that there's a place in heaven for people like us who persevere. There's no one that sings this better or say it better to us more than Gramps Morgan right now. Mr. Morgan. There's a place in heaven for people like him, really.
Good evening, everyone. Well, go on. Try to keep this short. And I'm going to try and a ball either. First grade, never Afro big like this. We went to school that morning in 16 acres, Springfield, Massachusetts. Oh, Peter ended up being my little brethren. In the family big. But in our family, everybody have them little best friend and them little pockets, you know. A 30 pick me, enough pick me. And I went to 16 acres that morning. The year before, I was in the first grade. First grade. Guess what? The second year, I was in the first grade. Hey. What do you want me to do? Me and Peter now end up grade. And I had to take him to the first grade, to his class. I'll never forget that. Taking him to the first grade. But most of all, Peter was a Rasta man. He was a very spiritual man. Most of you guys know him as a great artist because he was incredible as an artist. I called him the GOAT. And I've sung with some of the greatest and toured with the best. And I said, Peter, you're not normal enough. This man would, an hour before we go on stage, drink the coldest drink. And I said, Peter, what you do? And come on the stage and go, ow! I said, same thing with Lazar. When we were promoting Morgan Heritage Family and Friends album, Lazar would be sleeping right before his part on the side of the stage. And when Lazar come and start, them never are go get fit in. It's on YouTube. I'll leave that for another time. Love you. And the greatness of this man was on the love the most time, the love God. One morning, let me tell you, Peter get up on Bristol Street in Springfield, Massachusetts. Big up all of my friends from Springfield. And when Peter get up, Peter, one man, he was scared and everybody come from downstairs and him say, what happened to you? And my father come out of the room and my mother come out of the room, Emo. And I don't know if them even remember, I don't know if Emo remember this. And him say, I see His Majesty in a dream. For every Rastafarian, that is a dream come true. So when Peter saw His Majesty, he was in like a temper. He was like shaking. His eyes was red and his beard was white and pretty. And him said, go and tell the world about me. That was Peter, the man. And from that day, we never stop search until we reach a Jamaica. May I try going to the short version. And Peter said, Daddy, we have to get baptized. I said, baptized? We there blew my house, St. Thomas. St. Thomas, big up on herself. And my father said, what do you mean? Say, we have to get baptized. I'm just show you where Peter meant to the family and my father. He was always searching. We always had to grow spiritually. Upgrade your spirituality. You upgrade your clothes, your makeup, everything, but we don't upgrade with spirituality. Knowledge is vast and wide. Never stop reaching out. I implore you, all of you, to clothe yourself in the light of Christ. When Peter said, Daddy, we have to get baptized, we went and found the Ethiopian Orthodox Tawahedo Church. And that's why we love His Majesty. That's why when we say, Jah! I don't have time to tell you the whole thing, but Rastafari was known as Rastafari Makonnen, born in 1892, July 23rd. Give thanks for the teachings of the 12 tribes of Israel. And from that day, Peter kept on feeding us spiritually. I said, Peter, which book that? I'll never forget when Buju Banton come to New York. And I said, Buju, we find a book. Buju said, which book that? If you don't know Buju. And him say, one book named The Kebra and Gas. I saw we end up do a song named Give We the Kebra, make we read it, and gain the knowledge of the truth, and feed who come to eat it. Peter fed the world through music, through him lyrics. I saw we end up with an album named More Teachings. And that album is like a book itself. But he kept growing. He wanted to show us diversity. And I said, but wait, we don't love woman too. And Barry someone looked at me and said, wow, Mona, Mr. Linton come and say, me have a read him now. And studio and we create a song, say, she's still loving me. And I'll never forget the morning him come at my house. Cause me did get in trouble, if you know I know what this song right about. And him said, Grams, how you have to do that? And him just come with the guitar round at my house. I play some me and Mommy and Luke's and Mojo and I live together 4 away. As big people, you can imagine. And him just start playing guitar. To boy up on the side, on the beach. And we writing songs. It was a thing in St. Thomas that really grounded us. Because we came from Brooklyn. So when we went to Jamaica, people couldn't believe, say, boy, America didn't bad because we the chat patois so bad. And me have some cousin, by the way, where some of them never got Jamaica yet at the time. Where them chat, when them talk, you can't even understand them. Auntie Gracie, my cousin them, Auntie Gracie, Auntie Lana, big up on herself and my cousin them Rankin. When you hear Rankin talk, know him bad, he's a bad rapper now and known as Opium Black. But our family roots is so deep, all the way from the roots of Clarendon. And I want to acknowledge my mother because she stand up with my father, you know. There's too many broken homes, people. My mother started up with my father from my 16 in today's modern terms. Some other one that I call my father Gallus. But he wasn't that. But when we see our woman stand up with a man through all the trials and pain, it's not normal. I always tell my friends, and I love pop culture. I wear designer too sometimes. But the message in the music needs to come back. Beyonce always put out some songs. I can't wait to see her again. Me see her on the plane at the Special Olympics. But I want to see her because the songs is we push to break up relationships and break up families so much. I'm so happy that the man that I've become and grown, I'm not the man that I am today. I wasn't that man. It took time and maturity. Men, we take long to get it right. And I just remember listening to a song where Beyonce said, to the left, to the left. She said, I can have another you in a minute. Well, I know. Matter of fact, he'll be here in a minute. My mother never do that. She grew up on songs like Stand By Your Man. And that's not normal. So I implore woman, don't be so fast for breakup. My brother, 7 children come up there. Flowers, a garden, all the colors are different. Isn't it beautiful? So I want to know that a nation is mourning, not only the Morgan family. Peter was dynamic. I remember when I want to take this time to acknowledge the original members. And Sharon Burke, thank you for making us get on that stage in Reggae Sunsplash in my. And my father take all our money and say it was like a Joe Jackson story. We annoyed our mother so much time. Me and Peter are singing at the backstairs on the 3rd floor. And there were so many people that took chances on us. Eugene Gray, Thelonious Monk Jr., Bobby Digital, King Jammies. The names are too much to name. And it's like when you think of Peter, you think of a priest and a prophet, that sometimes a priest and a prophet is never honored in his own house. And I want you to know and understand that Peter was one of those persons that brought clarity to Rastafari. Other times in the 60s and 70s, Amanda said, Rasta, just Rasta. You know. But Peter was like, wait a minute, where's the data? What does it really mean? Let me declare to you the divinity of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie. The Rastafarian movement is not a religion. It is a liberation movement that makes you think about uplifting yourself again, taking care of your body, taking care of your temple with a spiritual nucleus. That spiritual nucleus, let me say again, that spiritual nucleus is based in Ethiopia by the Christian faith. So that's why we sing songs like, you don't have to be Rasta. Them days where I eat enough patty and curry goat and all bully beef. Bully beef and white. righteousness, when the Rasta part came to us, we realized that, man, there's some bad stuff in there. So no better thank Rasta, thank Jamaica, thank the culture. So Peter was that guy that always always a dig, spiritually, and he wanted the truth. You can't say Rasta, Rasta. That's why I don't smoke ganja till this day. Peter never smoked ganja. Don't even talk about alcohol. If you come close and I drink alcohol to him, say, what that? He was that guy. I wish we could all have a barbecue with him together, so no could I really get to know him, you know? When I did the first one, I was afraid. I'm say, who ever sing the first verse? And him say, rise up, man. We are Gramps, we are deal with. We were hard on ourselves musically. I remember my brother Junior, Clifford Branch, was so hard upon you in a rehearsal. People, we used to rehearse 16 hours a day in the hot sun in Brooklyn. Ray was there, Camille, Taliba, the Chipettes, Salah, Miriam. Out of that come LMS. We were so hard. Junior, I'll never forget when Cliff was. Not only the vibration, but the musicianship. God bless the school, Edna Manley of music, because a lot of those kids studied Morgan Heritage. Saxophone player, you heard him play earlier. On the piano, you saw music. And pastor, and him say he heard my father talking on an album named Live in Europe. Do it. Him say, follow those people. They know what they're talking about. Me don't talk. Because we clothed ourselves in Christ by the ways of His Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I. That is the true teachings of His Majesty. I remember the memories of the work that we put in. My brother David Morgan, him love His Majesty so much, the man moved to Ethiopia never to come back. And guess what? Him not have dreadlocks. He was the original bass player of Morgan Heritage. Our brother Jeffrey Morgan come from Wolaba, not knowing a lick of English, not knowing how to play any instrument, but he was one of my father's sons. And he learned how to play the lead guitar to, we call him Jimi Hendrix. This is the history, people. And my brother Junior, Denry Morgan Jr., was the drummer. And trust me, I remember the stress and the headache and the lack of focus when we were sitting out on the front stairs waiting for our father to come. And Daddy said, "We're not going to practice." Because we said, Daddy gone to a meeting in Manhattan and I'm going to meet with the MCA. So see, we are outside and wait to say, Daddy, we get signed? When him come out and reach out, I carry him. So no, go inside, go practice. This is who we are. This is who the Morgan family is. It was that kind of regiment. 1992 was a journey. The touring musicians, I can't remember them all, but Neville Moulton, Con Mitchum Chin, Andre Bailey, we couldn't have toured the world without these musicians. The engineers, Shane Brown, thank you. Thank you for taking a chance with us, brother. Because It's been a journey to step out from my keyboard. And I remember when we went on tour together, and I miss my brother. It was a lot of pressure. They on tour in the area and John Legend, and I watched them and I said, my God, how me I gonna manage this thing? Only Peter can match this thing, you know. And Peter said, just hold it, man, you can't do it. And then after that tour, I was on tour with Bujo, and I thought I was doing well. Bujo we was in Virginia, and I come off at the stage. And Buju say, you're too stiff, man. I verse. Same thing with you, and I'm waiting for a verse. Mojo waiting for his rap, because he was the point of our arrow. And let me tell you, I don't know what got me after this, you know. '91, '92 coming up, we called him the animal. Correct, sir? And then we met Thelonious Monk. It's important. Loving the children. These children make a lot of sacrifices too. A lot of time we go on tour and the size that we make to build a career, it's not easy. Wives, girlfriends, and baby mamas, take it easy upon these musician artists, please. 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 Because it's not easy. We go out there to sacrifice and establish our culture, our genre, and our country, Jamaica. I want to say special notice to Babyface that made us do our first dub plate. Because just for making you know, we never know what dub plate we still him come Babyface show up we are at Carnelia Street and say, yo, no want some dub plate? Was like, what is a dub plate? Babyface until he took out $600. And said, 300 a dub. I said, they're gonna pay us to re-sing with sound? The sound system culture. The legacy of Morgan Heritage, carry on the legacy of my brother Peter Morgan and the Morgan family. We have a lot more coming. We're gonna carry on. He all the way in China. And he's doing an amazing job. Morgan Heritage don't even reach yet. So the legacy continues. And last but not least, Tommy, wherever you're there, thank you. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you. I stood him the same way. She reminded me so much of my mother, you know. It's not easy to find a good woman. All of my artist friends, them, and the buckle down, you know. Got life short. Buckle down, find one that is worthy. So Tommy, be strong. And I know you gotta stand up strong and do the right thing and carry on with brother legacy. I want to close by reading A message. He got stuck in Ghana. This message is for my family. Mama used to say, when one member of the body hurt, the whole touched us all with his genuine love. From he was a little child, he blessed us with a gift of music. He took the role of leadership from a very early age, and he never let us down. We have been blessed with the presence of his pure soul. Let us
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. No, that's a family. Oh boy. That's a family. Strong family. Big family. Norfolk, big up yourself. All right. Yellow Man said, there's a beginning, there must be an end. If there's a rooster, there must be a hen. And without this, for this event to have been the celebration that it turned out to be, to celebrate the life of Peter Morgan, we needed some baking powder, some baking soda, some eggs. If we bake the main ingredient. So at this time, the heart behind tonight, this evening, with great honor and with humbleness, please welcome Mr. Mojo Morgan.
So we follow the divine spirit. Speaking of such a selfless person, but this man was a very serious man. You can't say the things that you say. Me smoke ganja, Gramps and Peter don't. And appreciate the love and support. He was probably the most selfless person I've ever known thus far in my life, and probably will never meet one like that again. There's not much more to be said. I really would like to just say thank you to people that have extended love and support for this gathering
king he is. People like the Manu family, Peter Daly, the Commissioner Hill, she brought the house down, right? Commissioner Hill was awesome. Mother Catherine, you did it. Christy, the official 6th member of Morgan Heritage. You know, VOG gonna be upset with you for that one. Pastor Roth, thank you. You did very beautiful tonight. I know you're gonna lead us out in prayer before we head on out here and go enjoy the rest of the evening in remembrance. I want you all to remember this. We're not gonna remember Peter anymore. For us, pay tribute to him. The glory that he is getting in the afterlife. Him said, enough soldiers rise and enough soldiers fall. And when they fall, the name is written on the wall. So we remember the cause that they fall for. But in death, there's no reward. Some will cry for a time, but life goes on, and them have to dry them eye. But I and I will continue with the struggle in this life and give thanks every morning Jah open eyes. Because to rise and fall, but in this life, our brother Peter lived for the cause. And we've seen the world help us to make his name be remembered for I. So don't ever let them break your stride. Do your work and be as your aunt and uncles. We're here for you. Lord, tell me. I won't even go into the. We're grateful for the role you played in our brother's life, that you gave us all a chance to say